all you cool cats and kittens. This is not Carol Baskin, but it is Miss Endicott, and I'm back for week 3 of going through our expectations and a little bit of housekeeping in there and some feedback from this past week of our learning and just outlining our week to come. Before we get too far into it, I want to wish a very happy birthday this week to Ombi Kinga. I hope that Ombi, you have a fantastic birthday week and that you do a few of the things that you love with your family, and that you really take the Tuesday to rest, relax, maybe do a little bit of schoolwork if you have time for it, but also just really enjoy the day. As we continue to move forward in learning online, I hope that you start to feel a bit of a routine to the way that our content goes out. I hope you're feeling more comfortable with all the content coming out on Monday. I know that there still are a few of you that are giving good feedback and saying that it's overwhelming to see it all come out on the first day of the week. But just a reminder to check the weekly breakdown that I give you guys, so that hopefully that'll help break up the work a little bit so it doesn't seem, at least for our course, as intimidating as it comes out. I feel like the theme of this semester has been 4-day weeks, whether it be because of strike action or because of holidays for the past couple of weeks. And then this week, if we're going with our school calendar, Friday is a PD day. So it's another 4-day week for us. And so I'm not sure if we're honoring, we haven't gotten information from our board whether we're honoring that PD day, that you guys would normally have the day off. But I have in our schedule that it's sort of a catch-up day, whether it be for our class that you're falling a little bit behind, or for other classes. Like, I've made that day so that there's not additional work added as if it's a 5-day week. Housekeeping before we get into expectations. So I put out a PSA, which is a public service announcement, last week on our D2L activity feed. So that's the main page of our course page. And it said on there to check your Wellington email. This is really important because that is not the email that is linked at the top of D2L. Okay, so unless your teacher signs on to D2L, they don't see the emails that you send there. Your Wellington email is a separate email where guidance, admin, that means the principals and vice principals, and your teachers will be emailing you, and that video from earlier last week, the PSA, will show you how to get onto your Wellington email to access that stuff. Again, this week you have 4 expectations. So you're going to fill out the Google form, you're going to write in our discussion on D2L, you're going to share another one of your gratitude journals from the previous week. You're going to record a daily entry each day in your gratitude journal. And then you're going to do slide 3 of your music in a time of COVID. So expectation number 1, the Google form. This is, again, the first thing that you're going to do every week. And it is a check-in for me to see how you're doing. Feedback from last week. It's also a check-in for you to see, did I get everything done from last week? And did I have any issues with it? Do I need to let Miss Endicott know about any help that I might need? Again, last week, at the end of the week, I responded to any concerns that were written in the Google form. So check your Wellington email. If you wrote something that you were trying to give feedback, I responded to those in an email already. I also sent out an email on Saturday to any students that didn't complete the Google form. Okay? So I'm going to start sending those emails, and they're not to get you in trouble. Think of them as check-ins. It would be the same as in class. I'd say, hey, I noticed that you were late to class today. What was up? It's just me checking in, okay? I'm just trying to figure out, do I need to help you? Do we need to jump onto a call, or do I need to send a separate email with a video of how to explain to you how to do something? Okay, so those emails are just to make sure that you're on track and for me to check in. Expectation numero dos. Number 2, you are going to, again, go into the D2L discussion board, and you are going to share a gratitude entry from last week. So that's April 14th to 17th. You're going to share an entry with your group. And just like last week, when you post, after you post, you're going to check out to see if your group mates have posted throughout the week, and you are going to share your thoughts on their gratitude entry that they shared. Again, your discussion is part of your grade, so make sure that you are doing what you're asked. So you're posting the gratitude entry and the visual. You're managing your thread, so you're responding throughout the week to anybody that's asked you questions or commented on your post. And then you're going to use your netiquette, and that means your etiquette online. So you're speaking in full sentences, you're using appropriate language, etc. I switched up the groups so that hopefully you're with a group of people that respond at the same time in the week you do. So those that responded first in the week, I have you grouped with people that responded first in the week so that hopefully you'll continue to have those conversations going. Those that didn't get around to posting the discussion until later on, I grouped you together as well, so that hopefully based on your schedule, you're seeing other people's posts at the same time that you're posting and are able to reply. One of my favorite posts from the week was Caleb. He shared about being grateful for his mom because she made burgers and they were awesome. And then Brady commented and he talked about whether his mom could deliver some of the burgers and whether that had to do with Caleb's ability to dunk, which then I also wanted the burgers that help people dunk in basketball. And Jeremy also jumped in and said that he would like delivery burgers too. So I'm really loving the discussion posts and the gratitude share. It just gives a great opportunity for you guys to reconnect and still have that feeling of being in class and sharing what you're grateful for. Moving forward, anybody that is modified does not need to write in the D2L discussions. That is no longer one of your expectations, and I will outline that in your weekly email. Your third expectation is to continue to write in your gratitude journal daily. Everybody that replied to the Google form last week, I got a chance to jump on to your gratitude journals and give some feedback. A lot of you filled in your March 23rd to April 3rd posts, so that's awesome. And this week here is also a great week to catch up on any journal entries that you've fallen behind on, okay? Because it is a 4-day week, and there's the assignment that I'll explain in a second for the music in a time of COVID. The expectation isn't as large as it was last week, so this is a great week to catch up on gratitude journals if you've fallen behind at all. Partway through this week, I'm going to post a mishmash of a mishmash? Is that the right word? Yeah, we'll say a mishmash. I'm gonna post a mishmash of a few of your journal entries. I've asked you guys permission, those of you that I've reached out to post. I'm going to put a few gratitude journal entries together on a PDF just so you guys can see some examples of some of your classmates' work that have been quite well done. And your final expectation of the week is to do slide number 3 for your assignment, Music in a Time of COVID. Again, we have running due dates for this assignment. So at the end of last week, so by Friday of last week, you should have had slide 2 done. So your brainstorm of songs should have been done. And this week, by the end of this week, you need to finish the slide 3 expectations. So what that looks like is the song that you decided to focus on for your reflection for last week. You are going to find an appropriate music video to insert into slide 3. It can be a lyric video, or it can be the music video, or it could be a recording of you playing it if you've chosen to write your own song. That's what you're doing for slide 3 this week. Before I sign off, I want to talk about video meetings for our class. At the bottom of our Google form, I put the outline from the board, our school board, Wellington Catholic School Board, of what online meetings are going to look like going forward as a class. So at the bottom of the form, it asks you what day works best for you to meet via video call with the class to talk over class expectations and address any questions. So this is talking about for next week, do Tuesdays or Wednesdays work best for you? And then from then on, we'll meet on that day of the week, depending on which day gets the most votes. Coming to the video calls is not an expectation at this point. It's not something that you'll be graded on whether you're there or not. It is just going to be an opportunity for our class to go over class expectations, to say hey to everyone, obviously, and then to also address questions that you might have for the week's work or for past work that you're a little bit confused about as well. And then at the bottom of the form, it explains that students are expected to be in appropriate dress when they come to the meetings, okay? So no, you don't have to be in your school uniform, but you do need to wear what would be appropriate on a Civies Day. It also talks about being in an appropriate location, such as a desk or at a table, okay, while you are in the call. So you shouldn't be answering the video call from your bed. You shouldn't be doing it in anywhere that people can tell where you live either, okay? So often having not your living room behind you is ideal so that people aren't walking back and forth behind you, and so that you only have to worry about your own behavior in the video. The form also outlines that it is very important to continue a respectful learning environment online on video. So any appropriate behavior, I'm going to have to chat to admin about. If there's any misbehavior on the call, it might result in us having to shut down the call or you being booted from the conference without an explanation. Now, with that being said, if something happens, I will follow up with you, and I will make sure to communicate as we would in class if something inappropriate happened. But for online learning, this really needs to be adhered to. We have to be acting in a respectful way. And then the last piece of that Google form, it just says that recordings won't be shared outside of the learning environment. So if we are using Zoom, sometimes it does record sessions, but I will not be sharing that recording outside of our learning environment. As soon as you log on to online learning, as soon as you join the call, you are saying that you consent to being online on video, okay? So that is just from a board point of view, that is you consenting to being online as soon as you join the call. So what it will likely look like is I will, about 15 minutes before the meeting, share the Zoom ID and password. I'll then start the meeting and you guys can join in for the 10 minutes before the meeting time. Feel free, we can have conversations about just how life is going and how you're doing and how our classmates are doing, and then we'll get into a breakdown of hitting questions and clearing up any misconceptions or expectations that are confusing. And with that, this is another YouTube video done for me. So I am going to go and edit this, but yeah, I'm missing seeing everybody at school. This is not an easy time. I know for everyone, but also for myself included. Yeah, I hope that you're all doing well, and I hope that you are finding the little things in your life to make you smile. Even if that is impersonating Carol Baskin, you know? That's what I'm talking about. Have a great week. See you guys.